Hello students, I am Deepak Kumar Verma from Santiniketan Jubilee School Motihari. I am just going to teach you the next topics from chapter Constitutional Design in Civics class 9. Students, earlier we have studied about topics like Nelson Mandela and his speech towards welfare and well-being of the country South Africa. Next topic, treason, apartheid and struggle against it towards a new constitution, preamble, and why do we need a constitution. Students, these are the topics which have been discussed by us in the previous lecture classes, but now we are just going to study about the topics like making of the Indian Constitution, Constituent Assembly and basic characteristics of the Constitution with respect to South African Constitution and Indian Constitution, philosophy of the Indian Constitution, institutional design and constitutional amendment, etc. Now, students, I am just going to start my lecture. Actually, today's lecture begins with making of the Indian Constitution. We are just talking about how Indian Constitution was made. Students, we already know that India got its freedom on 15th of August 1947 from the British, but it got its democratic constitution on 26th of November 1949, and further our Indian Constitution was implemented on 26th of January 1950. But here we have to study basically about when was our Constitution started its journey. Students, its clear answer is that our Constitution started its journey of formation on 9th of December 1946. It means the Constitution of India began its journey of formation on 9th of December 1946 when India was ruled by the British. From then, many meetings took place, many amendments were done, and many topics were discussed in details during formation of the Indian Constitution. And finally, it was prepared on 26th of November 1949. So, our Constitution took a very long time of formation, that is 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. From 9th of December 1946 to 26th of November 1949, the duration of the formation of Indian Constitution is known as 2 years, 11 months and 18 days, almost 3 years. So this very statement tells us that our Constitution is a written document. Our Constitution is written. That is a basic characteristic of our constitution. When our constitution was made on 26th of November 1949, students, as per the declaration of our Indian leaders in the Lahore session of Congress in 1929, it was implemented on 26th of January 1950, because that was the historical day when full freedom of our constitution was celebrated, and just to make that very historical day alive, it was decided that after getting the new constitution of India, after the independence of the country, that very historical day of 26th of January would be celebrated basically as the real freedom day, and that is why when our constitution was made finally on 26th of November 1949, it was implemented, it came into effect on 26th of January 1950. So we have a written constitution, and we have also a constitution which took a very long period of formation from 9th of December 1946 to 26th of November 1949. So we can say here that the Constitution of India is a written constitution and the largest constitution of the world also. Here, students, we have also to discuss about basic characteristics of the Indian Constitution. Actually, our Indian Constitution has a number of features, such as the written constitution, largest constitution of the world, democratic and republican system, fundamental rights, parliamentary system of the government, directive principles of the state policy, and so on. We have to study one by one about the basic characteristics of the Indian Constitution. Students, whenever we see the first line of the preamble of Indian Constitution, we come to know, we the people of India. We start from this very statement, we the people of India, and then we get that the Constitution of India is the Constitution of Indians, because this Constitution was made by the representatives of Indians. So, we the people of India is enough to tell us that the Constitution of India is the Constitution of Indians. That is a basic characteristic of our Constitution. Second thing is that our Constitution is the written one which took almost 3 years of the formation. From 9th of December 1946 to 26th of November 1949 till the day of the preamble of our Constitution, it took almost 3 years, accurately 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to form our Constitution. So this is an evidence to tell us that the Constitution of India is the written Constitution. One thing is also very important regarding characteristic of the Indian Constitution, students, here that our Constitution is the largest constitution in the world, because at the time of the formation of our Constitution and the day when it was implemented, and before the day of implementation, when it was preambled, there were 395 articles in our Indian Constitution, 22 parts and 9 anusuchis. So, this is an evidence to tell us that our constitution is the largest one in the world. That is also a basic characteristic of the Indian Constitution. After that, we get a number of other basic characteristics or features of our Indian Constitution, such as our Constitution discusses about sovereignty, socialism and secular nature of the country. Students, what is sovereignty? Actually, whenever we discuss about sovereignty, students, we come to know that our country is free in both the manners. Our own government can make its internal laws as well as laws related to other countries regarding international issues. Just how to correlate two or more countries means our country is now free in creating its own rules and regulations as well as creating the foreign policy of its own. This is known in the form of sovereignty. Before 1947, we were not the people of a sovereign nation because then we were ruled by the British and therefore the rules and regulations were applied over us. But nowadays, we are now in such a condition to form our own government, create our own laws and also the foreign policies of our own. So this is known as sovereignty, students. After that, socialism. Students, in our constitution there is a terminology socialism, Samajwad. Actually, India follows the path of development for all sorts of people, all religions, all castes, all languages, all cultures and civilizations and other things also are given equal and proper respect in our country. Individualism is not accepted in our constitution. Development of the society as a whole is the basic idea of our constitution. So this is known as socialism. And after that, the terminology secularism comes forward. Students, what is secularism? Although this very terminology was added to our constitution in the 42nd Amendment of 1976, this very terminology tells us that all religions in India have got equal respect and status in the light of law, and we can accept any religion, but we have to give proper respect to other religions also. We can propagate our own religion in such a way that our religions are protected very nicely as well as other religions are also given equal respect. So this very idea of secularism has been accepted in the constitution of our country. And after that, students, we have accepted democratic republic in our constitution. We have earlier studied, students, about democracy, that it is a system of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. And as per this very viewpoint, we have a government of democracy. We can, for a government of any political party or a group of political parties, as a coalition government, and we can time to time instruct the government to do for the welfare of the society and nation. We have also a terminology in our constitution, students, that is republic. Republic means head of the nation is an elected person or body. That is why the President of India is an elected person, and that is why we can say that our system of government is democratic and republic, because our government is elected as well as head of the nation, president, is also an elected person. After these, students, we have also found some other terminologies as the basic characteristics in the Indian Constitution, and they are justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Students, whenever we talk about justice, we talk about economic, political, and social justice in the Constitution. Our Constitution equally favors all sorts of people, gives proper justice to everyone, disregarding caste and religion. And after that, liberty. We are all free to express our ideas, views before the government, before the system. So, it is now very clear that Indian Constitution is a set of basic characteristics which are followed very nicely in our country and are inspirations to other people and nations of the world. Students, after that, we found equality. We find equality. Equality is what, students? We are all equal in the light of law. Although we belong to different caste, religion, culture, civilization, language, territory, but we are all equal in the light of law. There can't be any discrimination on the basis of caste and religion in our constitution, in our society. This very viewpoint has been very clearly discussed in the constitution, as per which we are all equal in the light of law. And we have also developed a sense of fraternity in the constitution, students, according to which we are all brothers and sisters together. So, students, these are all basic characteristics of the Indian Constitution which are not found in other constitutions of the world. They are basically found in the constitution of our own country, India. So these basic features, values, principles are just like the decorative items of our Indian Constitution, which tell us that we have a constitution of very nice things, of very nice elements which are not found in other constitutions of the world. And after that, students, we have to talk about Constituent Assembly, and after that, philosophy of the Indian Constitution. Students, whenever we talk about constitutional or Constituent Assembly, we come to know that it is an assembly of people's representatives that writes a constitution for a country. Our constitution was made under the guidelines of the Constituent Assembly, where there were members belonging to different sections of the society, and they nicely performed in the making of our constitution. So, Constituent Assembly is an assembly of the elected people that is responsible for the making of a constitution like the Constitution of India. And students, we have earlier studied about basic features and characteristics of the Indian Constitution. But here we have to study about philosophy of the Indian Constitution. Students, what do you mean by philosophy of the Indian Constitution? Actually, philosophy of the Indian Constitution is a set of values, norms and regulations that inspire and guide the freedom struggle, or inspired and guided the freedom struggle, and were in turn nurtured by it. Actually, values which were drawn after a long debate of our constitution makers became the sole basis of the formation of the Indian Constitution, and were also responsible for the aims and objectives of the Indian Constitution. Whenever anything is done, whenever any system is framed out, whenever a constitution is made, it is, students, very necessary just to fix the philosophy for the making of that very thing. Similarly, our constitution was also made in such a condition where philosophy was drawn out, and as per that our constitution began its journey. So after that we have to study about the left topics, students, institutional design. Students, whenever we talk about institutional design, we come to know about a constitution that is not merely a statement of values and philosophy, as we noted above or discussed above. A constitution is mainly about embodying these values into institutional arrangements. Institutional arrangements here means what, students? We work through institutions, we work through our political system, not through people, because institutions remain all the time with basic values and philosophy, but people come and go. So whenever we talk about institutional design, we talk about the democratic system and the constitutional framework of our political system. In our political system, and we already know, students, that our system works through executive, legislature and judiciary under the principle of separation of powers. So a true democracy is that where institutions work, where political systems work, where political systems work on the basis of the constitutional framework and democratic ideology. So we have a constitution, we have a political system of democracy where institutional designs have been made just to regulate the political system and government of the country. And after that, students, here is the last topic of discussion, that is constitutional amendment. Actually, students, what is constitutional amendment? Students, we have already studied about what is a constitution, but here we have to know about constitutional amendment. Actually, students, a large change in the constitution made by the supreme legislative body in a country is known as the constitutional amendment. Once again, students, a large provision or a broad provision of changing in the constitution made by the supreme legislative body in a country is called constitutional amendment. We are the people of a nation that is very large in territory and number of people. We have a number of problems and difficulties also. So students, time to time there have been so many changes in the constitution just to fulfill the aspirations, needs of the people and society. That is why sometimes we need constitutional amendment, means changes in our constitution to cover up or fulfill the aspirations and progress of our society and nation. So this is a very necessary and important step just to cover up the present needs and aspirations of the people. So I think it must have been clear to you that what is the meaning of our constitution, in which condition our constitution was made, what was the duration of the making of our constitution, constituent assembly and its basic characteristics, philosophy of the constitution is what, and what do you mean by institutional design, and also the constitutional amendment. We have already studied about all these topics, students. So I think that if you properly study and get the meaning of some terminologies here given and discussed in this lecture class, you would be able to understand the very chapter very nicely. And if you find any problem anywhere, you can just contact me on my personal mobile number, that is 76549494143, between 1 pm to 3 pm. Thank you very much. In the next lecture class, we would be able to discuss next important topics of civics as well as economics also. Thank you very much.